Previously on Flipping Fantastic, the basalt rock came home to Weaver. During the final push to completion, a couple of disasters struck. Moose and I went on another field trip. It was to Jayco's Art House in Los Gatos to find artwork for Weaver. Hi there, welcome to Weaver Drive. I'm Diane Richards.
And I'm Lance Brown.
We take aging homes with tons of character and soul and we bring them back to life. We call it Flipping Fantastic. Hey there, we are here today with our landscape designer extraordinaire, Audrey Newell, from the Foxy Garden in San Francisco.
Hi, everybody.
And Audrey and I, we're childhood friends. We've worked with Audrey on a couple projects, probably much to her dismay, but she has been very helpful. And I wanted Audrey to tell us about how she approached this Weaver Drive project and how she approaches landscape in general while Moose is falling down the hill.
I work in San Francisco, and most of my jobs are urban and small. So this has been really exciting working on these bigger projects with Diane. Well, I have to say my approach in general to landscaping is about, whether it's urban or suburban, is to use sustainable practices as much as possible, which have to do with water management and plant choice, the right plant for the right place, and sourcing materials from as close by as possible, to mention a few. And then my goal, other than that, is to make comfortable spaces outside that bring people outside. So when I'm in the city, it's about taking those little tiny spaces and making every square foot count. Even when you have, when you have vertical space right next to you, and make what feels like a little slot canyon in your backyard feel like something that you can use. We didn't have to try that hard to bring people outside here because you have this space, and then this house in particular has this really great layout that ties the inside and the outside together automatically. So
this looks really pretty behind you. It almost looks like you have some like flowing long hair. It's very graphic.
Automatically know.
Look at that.
How to stand.
It's like, look at,
I've learned how to do that.
And kind of just go like this, like it's a ponytail. That looks really good.
We got to do a lot of really cool things on this site, like minimize. The whole front of the site was turf when we started. And we did put turf back in, but we minimized maybe not quite 50% of what we put back in, but we balanced what kind of water we had to use on site. So the turf is smaller and put in a really juicy place where we thought it would get used the most. And then the rest of the beds that were turf now are very drought tolerant, very low water selections. So we balanced it that way. This is where we are right now. This is the master bedroom right here, and these are our doors leading out onto our new terrace that is new, but it's with recycled materials that were found on site, which are really nice. So we're out here and looking out this way. I was looking out that way into our spa garden out here. So what we've done out here is we needed a screen along the back fence. And there's a big, pretty blood good Japanese maple going in here. These are our super pretty Japanese bloodgrass. So these are the thirstier version. I did that for you.
Look at how beautiful.
I know, aren't they gorgeous?
I love how it goes from green to red.
Yep,
so pretty.
Super pretty. These are imparados, that's what those are. And those go right in here. So when I do plant placement, I like to go big to small.
Okay.
And I design the same way, big to small, big elements first. So we're going to put the big stuff in place first and stand back and look at it. And we're not going to stress it. We're going to throw everything into place, starting with the big woody stuff in the back and the medium shrubs coming towards us and the pretty little ground covers last. And then we're going to stand back and go, oh God, I hate that. Let's flip it all over.
Or, oh God, I love that.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to do that.
Today is staging day. It's one of my favorite days because we can actually start bringing the house to life. I've hired these 3 amazingly talented women that own a company in San Jose called Staged by 3. They're pretty funny because they all have really strong personalities and they sort of fight like sisters, but they end up bringing together just amazing stuff. The living room was our biggest struggle, and it was the room that I felt had to be really perfect. So there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of putting things in and taking things out, but in the end, I was really, really happy with how it turned out.
The stagers do a great job bringing in the big pieces, but it's the small pieces and the details that really have the heart and soul. Our realtor, Darcy Arena, always works with me on staging day. She knows what appeals to house buyers, and she makes sure we're highlighting the features of the house and the property that are really going to get people excited.
I was struggling with what we were going to do in the dining room, and they found a table that I think will work really well. The challenge is, what chair do we place with it? They brought these really cute mid-century modern chairs with a plaid seat, and I thought it might just be too matchy-matchy. So I tried a couple different things. I had these really modern bucket chairs that were white that I thought could be a nice contrast, but we ended up using the chairs that they brought, and it ended up looking really great. The house was already staged with the artwork, but we wanted to see if we could find pieces that would have a more impact. So we went room by room, and it was so much fun. The icing on the cake was the artwork. So Jayco came in, and after choosing a bunch of our favorite artwork at the gallery, they brought them to the house to try them out. As we were leaving our field trip to Jayco Gallery, I glanced at this giant golden girl on the wall. She wasn't anything that we had originally planned to bring in, but I just had a feeling that she might work. And when they put her into place in the living room, it just was magic. The size was perfect. The tones of the yellow in the background matched the gold in the ceiling. The black detail matched the sideboard. We all just stopped in our tracks and knew that this was going to be her new home. So then Frida came in, and you know that I love Frida. So we needed the perfect place for Frida. We tried her in the dining room, but it just didn't work because of the light switch, and she got kind of crammed to the side. So I thought, what if we put her at the very end of the hallway? And that is where she ended up living. And it was just so perfect because you saw it from far away, but then as you got closer, you could see all the detail. Is that the cutest? Is that the cutest? I can't really stop sighing. So, it's been a long road, and we are here today at the Weaver preview party. And just so much has happened. And we have hopefully a big crew coming, and a paella man, and lots of booze. And we want people to just walk around and see what we've done and drink and be merry and hope to find someone that will buy this gorgeous house. So this has turned out to be one of my favorite rooms. The stagers nailed it. I sent them some reference pictures of kind of similar side tables and lamps, and I came in here and squealed when I saw it. And I just love the symmetry, and I love the wallpaper, and I love all the contrasting patterns. And just like imagining having this bedroom and being able to walk out, bring your coffee out, and just kind of chill out in the chaise lounge and just look at nature. I don't know, just seems like it could be a very cool thing to do. So it's finally in place. You guys were with us for the journey. We were up at American Soil and Stone in Richmond and walked all over the place looking for this water feature. And as we were leaving, we found it. And it was a little bit of a schlep to get it in our car. Our lovely producer Laura here was with us, and Moose. and it made the journey intact, and here it is. I just think it works so well. I like the kind of mix of the organic and the geometric and the rough edges and the smooth top, and just like the sound. I think that sound, oops, I just blocked it. I think the sound is really, would be really calming, you know, during your meditation sessions or nude sunbathing. So anyway, I'm happy with it. It's one of those things that actually worked out, you know. It doesn't all work out, but this one, we had a vision and we executed it and it worked out. So I'd say this one was a success. Check. So one of my favorite things about this house, and actually one of the things that makes me jealous that I don't live here, is this closet. I mean, you can actually walk in, you can spin in this closet. My closet's this big. Anyway, but the cool thing about the closet isn't necessarily the walk-in feature, it's the fact that this is a reclaimed dresser. This was a dresser that was built into one of the bedrooms in 1955 when the house was built. And we saw it, and I just love the simplicity. I love that there's no hardware on it. You just, you know, there's these kind of, like in those days, they just were so simple. They didn't have to put hardware on stuff. You just go like this and open it. Simple, simple. And so we refinished it and brought it from one of the bedrooms and put it in here. And then we used the same quartz countertop that we did in the bathroom right across the way. And it just worked out really well. So really happy about it. Another check. Check. So I'm here with Julie Jenkins, Jayco Modern Art Gallery in Los Gatos. This girl is my NBF, even though I've only seen her 3 times. But I love her. She decorated this house with the most, like I have chills down my spine, most incredible artwork. This is one piece. And I think we went through it maybe when we were in
Carol O'Malia, but here it is live and in place. I mean, it's absolutely outstanding. She's a classic painter. Yeah, if you can see close, you can't even see the brush strokes. I mean, it's clearly a master oil painting. It's called Paella.
And it's really, you know what I like about it? It's just sexy.
It is sexy.
Right?
It's super sexy.
And what do you want in your bedroom?
Well,
sexiness, right?
But there's also a sleepiness to it, wouldn't you say?
Sleepy and sexy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. What do you want in your bedroom? Sleepy
it's like
and
a
sexy.
negligee.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
It's fabulous.
So anyway, this is just one of many pieces. So we are going to walk around and show you a bunch of them. And we've done these little tags, these little sort of museum tags. We're trying to pretend it's a museum. And we're kind of encouraging people, if they're interested in purchasing, to do so. Except for Frida, which I think
is going to get Frida.
I think
we'll show you that one in a second.
Frida has stolen my heart. This is Helena Steele, Golden Gate Cabinets. And this woman, I mean, I kind of could cry because I love her too. Like, I love both of these women. So I called her on a referral, this really random referral, and I just like loved her instantly on the phone, and I was like, what do you think about coming over and seeing my house? I don't even think we had touched it yet. Like the wall was still here. And she was like, I was like, you know how you get a vibe from people on the phone? I was like, I like her. We kind of had a little symbiosis.
It was good.
And she's like, I can be there, you know, in like 2 hours. So she came over here and we stood here. There was a giant wall here. This place was in its original state. And we kind of just stood there and she brainstormed. And we were like, what about an island? And what about, you know, what if we did this? And what if we did this? And she held my hand and guided me through this whole process, which was not always easy. And was so patient and offered super creative solutions. And I think I have a lifelong friend now.
I think so too. I love working with Diane.
Well,
She makes good decisions. Give her choices. She says, this is kind of what I'm thinking. I was able to say, well, is this like what you want? And then decision. So it's been a real joy to work with you. I love working with you.
oh, thank you. Anyway, so happy.
Things come up and it just crazy. So we had a photo shoot on Monday.
And the photo shoot was the major deadline. Like
Major-
that was
major
the
deadline.
date to get.
So we have 2 shoots. We have a daytime shoot and an evening shoot. So all the lighting has to be done. All the exterior lighting has to be done.
Which it's not.
And so Sunday night, I'm still putting up wood underneath the carport. Literally putting up wood under the carport.
He worked till like 10 o'clock at
And
night.
if my cousin James hadn't helped me wire all the cans, it wouldn't have been done. Would not have been done. So all day Monday, still putting up wood, still putting up cans.
So the realtor shows up for the photo shoot, and I said, Darcy, don't even get out of your car because you're going to have a full-on anxiety attack. There was things everywhere. His building tables were up. I was like having heart palpitations. It was like, I'm like, I can't work like this. I can't, like, I'm a deadline person, but I can't push it this tight. Like, I was so mad at him, but he was doing the best he could, but it was just like, this is too tight. This is too tight. And it's just, we've just had these hurdles of like, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Okay, we made it. Okay, next hurdle. Are we going to make it? And it's just like.
So we make it to Brokers Open.
I mean, my heart beats fast talking
and
about it.
Literally, which was yesterday, Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And I literally just hit a wall. Just like noontime on Thursday, I'm like, there's nothing left. Nothing left in the tank.
Although I made him go to Costco with me to get booze last night. I go, I need the emotional support. Even though you've hit a wall, I need your help. He's like, okay.
And today we had a punch list of items to do because our open house for the public is Sunday. And there's a myriad of little things to do. And she's like, you're just going to find stuff to do. Like,
well, because he's a boat builder. I'm like, he will be here until he's kicked out.
So the threshold for the front door, we didn't pass our final today because the threshold for the front door is not in. One of the reasons. But those are the kind of things that you don't see that have to be done.
I mean, at a certain point, I think I'm going to change the locks and just tell, he's going to be like, but I have 5 more things on the punch list. And I'm like, guess what? The new owners can do those punch list things, okay? But like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm like, we're good, right? We're good. I'm looking around. And he's like, but Diane, every project is 20 minutes to an hour, and that's if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, then you're off to Ace Hardware in Los Gatos.
So the last house, the punch list was pages long. I mean, literally pages long at this point when we're ready to go on market. Now I can, one hand, I can count the punch list items. It's really tiny, and that is a huge lift.
This is really nice.
It is.
Do you think
nice.
this looks better than the hack-a-shed that was here? What was it?
Murder shack? The murder shack. No, it looks a lot better than the
What
murder
was
shack.
it? What was that thing?
It was just a shed.
It was a shed,
Storage
one of
shed.
those Home Depot sheds.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
murder shack.
Whose idea was this? Was this yours or mine? You can take credit wherever you want to take credit.
I think this was mine.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, remember, because we were talking about when we were putting in the barbecue,
Yeah.
we were going to have a fire element somewhere.
Right.
And at first,
Oh, it was going to be where the green wall was.
Right. We
God,
talked about a
I
fireplace
forgot
there.
about
I
that.
did tons of research on built-in fireplaces and blah, 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 and then
You should really be a paid researcher. You research just like through the nostril and then back.
well, that's how we find these good deals.
I hate research.
I know you do. I know. So, but this whole area is what we're going to do with it, right?
No,
the
I know.
landing was already here.
No, I
And-
know. It's a really neat way to sort of elongate the backyard and then give it's almost like another chapter, right?
It is.
Like it has a different vibe than up there,
So what-
or even up there.
My cousin James just said it. It's the party away from the party.
Yeah.
So you come down
Like
here.
if you're trying to pick up on a chick or something.
Maybe. Maybe. But this is
Wait,
the place-
maybe means no.
Maybe means no. This is the more intimate area,
Yeah.
right? So
And this fire pit actually works.
it does.
I'm happy. I'm happy about the whole thing. I mean, even the staging pieces, I'm happy with. Like whoever buys this house needs to buy those pieces.
These chairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
These
they're
chairs,
just perfect.
They're for her. But this whole thing with the maton trees, overarching the path that comes down, it's
I know.
fantastic.
I have to say it's one of my favorite things of this whole property. Is like it almost feels like we planned it. And I know you're going to say we did, but that's where the stairs went. But it's like this amazing arch.
There was a little path that came down to this lower area to access the murder shed. I mean, I loved how the stairs turned out. I loved the transition.
And we got to use them. Remember, that was the maybe means no thing. We got to use those.
Cinder blocks.
Yeah, but they were very 60s.
Very.
Oh, look at Moose comes right on cue. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, my goodness, Moosin.
Hi, buddy.
Don't burn your nose.
He hasn't figured out fire yet.
Moose is going to burn his nose, and then he'll figure out fire. Be careful, Moosin.
Oh.
So,
Fire.
I feel like the last few weeks, like we've lived a year. I mean, honestly, I don't know really how and why. I haven't done my blog in weeks because I mean, the landscaping alone, and each time we do a project, the landscaping kicks my butt. And each time we do it, I say, I'm going to do it differently. And it's so overwhelming to me. It's
a little bit of chaos.
It's just an enormous undertaking. And this was a 15,000 square foot lot, so it was even bigger, but it's a lot of decisions.
Well, a lot of it has to do with what's available, right? So our designer may choose certain plant species and layouts, and then all of a sudden we go to make the order, can't get it.
Right.
So we have to make a substitution.
Right.
And I think the substitutions are really stressful, right? Because
but
we
even
made a number of substitutions.
But not as stressful as Lincoln, but like, for example, the 2 olives in the front yard, we chose these 2 olives. We wanted them to be sort of the focal point in the front yard. And I was envisioning like big, not huge, but we got 36-inch box trees. I was expect like these kind of specimens, and they're these like bushes.
Right.
And that is stressful.
And
it's expensive.
They need my little pruning thing.
They need pruning, but it's like all the effort, and then you get this thing and you're like, And it's just like, I feel like each day there was some like monumental stress that we had to overcome.
Right. And the front of the house, when we lost the birch trees, we lost 2 very mature anchor plants.
Right.
And they were the focal point.
I know, and I love that kind of broke my heart a bit when we lost those trees.
When I first told you about the house, I was like,
I know.
Well, mid-century modern.
It's on the website, so I'm like, what are we going to do? There's no more birch trees.
And unfortunately, they were they weren't tenable.
I know.
We had to take them down. So what's the substitution? And yeah, I agree. The olive trees they're nice species and varietal and specimen, but they don't have the impact that certain.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So there's things that went right.
Right.
Like there's a few things that went right where I can go through and go, this went right, this went right, this went right. And then there's things that didn't go right. So what would you say are the top things that went right for you?
Well, I'd say there's more things that went right than went wrong.
Okay, then let's just. Hi, Tara. Then let's name. We're filming right now. Would you like to come into the film?
You're filming?
Yeah.
Sure.
Come here. Yeah, we are. I'll come say hi.
Hi, love.
Let's take that. Okay. Well, just so we don't belabor it. What did you think didn't go right?
Well, certainly the living room was a disaster.
The paint debacle.
The whole paint debacle.
I'm going to call that the paint debacle of 2017.
Literally.
I stood there in front of the painters and I cried. I bet you I'm the only client who has ever. I stood in front of the painters and I cried.
Right.
But we came through.
We did come through, and I think the end results are better than the alternative that we were.
I actually kind of do too, because we modernized it, which was our whole goal.
Right.
And you were always worried about not too much wood, but just the yellow and dated. And I feel like now that ceiling pops.
It does.
So it was a hard
way to get there.
That took 5 years off my life. I mean, I literally see a patch of gray right here behind my ear now. And I think it's from that paint debacle of 2017.
But I think there's a number of things that also went really, really well. So our vision about what happened at the front entry with the peek through, so to speak, and the cabinet, recycling, reusing that whole cabinet, that all went off extremely well. The one of the projects I really enjoyed was the pantry doors.
What?
Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but I've never done a veneer project like that.
You're so
before.
weird.
And so when we veneered those original doors with the veneer that's on the kitchen cabinets,
Right.
it just pulled.
Okay, so just to back up, so we were able to get the same wooden veneer, right? It's a veneer, kind of a gray, ashy brown veneer. And Helena Steele, who I introduced earlier, was able to get us that material, and we used the original pantry doors, right?
Correct.
We didn't move the pantry. It was actually, didn't we? Isn't that one of the few things that stayed in place?
Those were actually the linen closet.
Okay. Well, anyway, we put the veneer on there, and it was a fairly quick fix, and it looks great.
How did we feel about how the weaver turned out? I think we are both really happy with the outcome of Weaver. We really struggled with how to balance keeping the amount of elements that made it a soulful mid-century house, but also bringing in modern elements to align with how people live today. And I really feel like we did that. The house was on the market for about 2 weeks, and we got an offer for the full asking price, which was really nice. What's next? Well, I think we're going to take a bit of a break. We both have full-time jobs, and this has been the fourth house back-to-back, so we need a bit of a rest. And Lance has promised he won't go out looking at houses secretly with Darcy again.
So, Lever, when we look at the, you can't start laughing right off the bat.
All right, well, that will be a discussion point for later.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Can you imagine sitting
Right.
there with the washing machine going?
Right,
in
the
the
washing
background?
machine's going and you're talking to each other like this.
Exactly.
You know, you've got the basket on your hip. You can get a hold of it.
Sounds so 50s.
We pitch each other on our ideas.
They just keep asking the same question over,
Yes.
hoping to get a
Over
different
and
response.
over and over. My current pitch is the stone veneer on
Everywhere. Are you pulling yours in?
No.
Chin out, stomach in, chin out.
Chin out, peering over the fence.
Plus, if you're out kind of lounging nude in the private master courtyard.
The neighbors might appreciate that, but who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe means no, right?
No.
That means no.
It doesn't mean no.
Terrible to work with.
And
Knock on wood?
Knock on wood, yeah. That's a big chunk of wood up there.
Like this, and I was like, oh my god.
what's wrong with that?
It just felt, I felt confined a little bit, that's all. Come on in to the common bath. I think it was like somewhere like this, right?
A little bit, right in here.
This is not good for a Libra who is a bad decision maker. It's way too many decisions.
So we had a wonderful pour. It was perfect weather. Everything was looking great.
A wonderful pour, that's a funny way. We had a wonderful pour.
It was. It was a great.
It would be a better pour if it was like champagne, but
Well,
anyway.
It was concrete, and as concrete goes, it was a great pour.
I don't know if the puppy's gonna enjoy laying on it as much, but it's all about the puppy.
Ultimately, with your
Approval?
approval, thank you.
Because
Your
I'm the boss? I mean, why do I need
I just wanted to make sure you're okay with it.
That's nice.
I mean, you were right. I really.
Did you get that
Yeah.
on film?
Yeah.
You were right?
You were right. You were absolutely right.
Wow, I don't think
re-
I can hear that enough. One of these pieces, look at my biceps. Ooh! And this is a beautiful time of day. Does it look good on me?
It does.
Sparkling. Is that the cutest? You should really be a paid researcher. You research just like through the nostril and then back. But this one, we had a vision and we executed it and it worked out. So I'd say this one was a success. Check.